can
We're
figure
going
out how to do that.
to.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you want to talk about it? Why don't you take the floor on it? Because I think I really like the idea of this live sort of giving us this space or this platform to kind of hash out some details on how we could get this started and how something like this could work. Because I don't think it's, as far as I know, I don't think it's ever been done.
Yeah, I've talked about it on my lives before. Obviously, there's a lot of ideas coming into play, but I know one thing that I've talked to them about is allowing rescues to come in on a day and people like, so, there's a trader that is very, like, sells a lot of horses to the kill pens, especially Bowie, because he makes, more margins there. And he'll reach out to us when he has emaciated horses or horses that need a lot of help, and he'll just sell them to us, and they're usually $300 each. But I mean, what if we could get all the traders to start doing that? Because my pitch to David was, you're trying to be a high-end auction house, but the reality is these traders are going to bring stuff from all over the country. So why not just let the rescue step in and take all the stuff that's rescue before they ever have to go into the auction? And we'll still buy them. You'll still get your percentage as the auction house, because we're basically using your contacts and your, spread of people knowing that they're coming there anyways. But now maybe, like, the Thursday before the sale or the Monday after the sale, they can show up with their truckloads of horses that are rescue per se, like skinny or hurt, injured, and we'll just buy the whole truck right there. Like, why put them through the sale? Like, just bring them there, and we'll have a vet there that day and do it the right way. Even put ads out on Craigslist, on Facebook, to the general public, like, hey, we'll buy your horse, bring it to the auction house, or bring it, to that place on this day during this time frame. We have a vet there. We'll buy the horse from you, no questions asked, and just drop them off. And I think that would help a lot, because that one trader, he goes around and literally puts ads out on Craigslist and Facebook that he will buy any horse regardless of what they look like. And that's why he always shows up with all this rescue stuff, because they call him and they're like, hey, I got 2 skinny horses I don't want. And he'll come and give them like $100. Why can't we be doing that? Why can't that be us putting ads out saying, we'll come get your horses, and then
or just use him that's already doing that and hire him in a way, right? Hire him, let him do that work for us, because we're not locally doing that all the time. But then if that becomes a revenue stream for these guys, then we can just make that available. There's suddenly now an outlet, like you're saying.
Yeah. And then if they start making more money just bringing us their horses, and the kill pen's not getting them, and then now you have someone that's actively going out looking for horses that need help, or that people just don't want, that just need, like, rehabilitated or retrained or trained or just whatever. Like, they're the ones that have all these contacts across the country. Like, I was told that the people who have the inns with the Amish, it's a very protected, like, contact. But to find, like, an inn that knows the people in the Amish, where, we have that direct contact.
Right. And then funnel that out of that direction and come this way. Like, what would be the difference?
Well,
Why not?
But it's like, there's rescues in Kentucky. There's rescues all over. It's like, if more rescues just worked together and reached out to one another, and it's like, hey, I had a trader call me in from New Mexico. They have 10 horses. Oh, shit, let's call whatever the rescue is in New Mexico, and let's see if we can get those horses taken to her place. Not necessarily permanently, because that might be too much strain on what their infrastructure is, but at least they would have a landing spot to then get a vet out there to vet them. And if any need to be euthanized, put them down, and then disperse them to the rescues that do have the infrastructure and the space to be able to intake them.
This is what I feel like would work the best.
Yeah.
This is exactly and this is what we've been playing with some of these bigger rescues that we've just done in the last 2 months. It's like that kind of network, that big interception of a large number, and then a dispersal to rescues, right? And then we allow the rescues to then find and rehome on an individual basis, because they're just it's an easier deal. You don't have to deal with 50, or you can't take in 20, or you can take in 5 or 4 or 10 sometimes, and work from there and sort of disperse within your communities.
Right. And it's like, even here locally, like, it's hard, because like I'm very calculated with my decisions, because I don't ever want to sink the ship per se, like what I've built with Alcina Farm. Like, I would never want to make a decision that puts any of, the horses, the donkeys, or even my staff and team in jeopardy, if to be taken care of in the right way. So it's like, I would love to be able to put, a community ad out that says, I'll take any horses in Kern County that you don't want. But the reality is, without the funding and the space to be able to do that, I can't do that.
I know.
And there's no help for people like you or like me and other rescues to be able to be that outlet, because quite frankly, the animal controls don't have the teams that are capable to take care of these horses. They're capable of taking care of dogs and cats. They don't understand, unless they own a horse themselves, what actually comes with a rescue horse, or comes with a horse that is terrified of people or needs special medication or care or handling. They don't know how to do that. Like, they're there to clean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be
I just had the head vet, the head of the state of Arkansas, just called me on my cell phone just a couple hours ago and was like, I'm so glad I found you. We haven't had anybody to be able to reach out to. We have 15 body condition 1 emaciated horses here that we need to find a place for them to go. And I was like, ones, oh my gosh, why all these ones right now? I'm like dying in body condition 1s. It's like, I don't know why the universe wants me to take these right now. But I talked to him and I was like, okay, what we're doing right now, what we're playing with is this rescue network. And what I can do, send me the information, send me the numbers, send me the ages, the photos. And what I can do is reach out to the networks. And once we're organized, if we can work together, then I can get a rescue that can take 2 of those. And then I can get another rescue that can maybe take 3. And, something like this. And takes off that heavy load and that anxiety that you get when you get that call of like, we've got 25 here and they've got nowhere to go. And you're just like, oh my God. So, okay. So tell me this right now, how would an auction night work? How would a sale night work with these types of horses? Like, how would you, I've been thinking about it all day since we talked earlier. And I go from, it's like in my mind, I'm like, I don't want rescues bidding against rescues. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, right? No. I almost like, if you flipped it, I'm just like, this is like a spitballing ideas sort of live that we're doing right now. But what if the people bidding, like, what if we flip the auction upside down, right? What if the people bidding would bid on how much money went with the horse? And then a rescue could, it's almost like 2 sides of it. Like, a rescue could say, I could take this horse in. And then people bidding online, no rescues, just individuals could then pledge like a donation type bid where they go, I'll send 200 with this horse. I'll send 100 with this horse. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that could work or not, but it's like flipping it on its head. So no one's bidding against each other, right? Because then no horse trader is going to come and try to infiltrate that design. That's like the opposite of what they want to do, right? I mean, these are just thoughts I have. I don't know. I mean, have you thought this far into this sort of how this would go?
No, it's something like you said. It's like brainstorming and getting ideas. I just really fast want to clarify to some of the comments that are coming in.
Please do. I have not been.
I don't. Okay. So people, when you say like reach out and horses go to different rescues, I want to be very clear, like, especially in the way that I do things and like standards. When we send horses to other rescues, if it's been discussed that there's funding going with those horses, funding goes with those horses. If it hasn't been discussed, then it's another, it's like if my friend could reach out to me that has a rescue and say, hey, I'll take Gandalf and the bar and the mule. That's it. She's happy to take Gandalf. There's no funds attached to that. It's not about, because the misconception is that rescues dump horses on other rescues, and then it becomes the other rescue's problem. And I don't want anyone to think that that's what Dawn or myself is saying. It's not, you don't dump horses on other rescues and put them in a bad spot. It's about finding rescues who genuinely, like I said, have the infrastructure and have the funding and have the means to take them in and right 100% by the animals from start to home or start to sanctuary, whichever path they take. It's about doing it the right way. It's not, you don't go around.
And they're the ones stepping forward. I'm not pushing them or dumping them in anyone's doorstep. It's like, who has the ability, who has the means right now, in the same way that I would. If I step up like these Arabians, I stepped up and I go, I can take these guys in. I can fundraise. I trust that my donors will step in and help me get through this. I wasn't like, are you going to send me money? Like where the Ravens came from? No, no one's sending you money for that. It's your responsibility. So if you are doing that and you step up and you say, I can take 2 of those animals, then as a rescue, as far as I understand and how I've operated thus far, I'm responsible for then doing that. I think, Talia, what you do, and like this last 50 reservation baby ones, we are sending money to those rescues. We haven't yet, just as a disclaimer, if any of you guys are watching it, we're on it, and we're like,
there's expenses
Christmas
coming out of it still.
exactly. So Christmas threw us all off, so that money is still coming. But that type of rescuing I think that is so cool, because like, when do you ever hear about getting money when you rescue something? Right. You're always like paying a rehoming fee, or you're having to come out of pocket in some way, or there's a fee attached to it. But to do a mass rescue where there is money coming and you can get sort of help for bringing in those 10 that they took to California, or the 10 that Barbara took to Utah. It's like, what a cool structure that is. And that's why I was trying to think, is there a way to do that even for, sorry, I think my truck is going to, even for this auction situation? Like, that's where it came from, honestly, was your template of sending money with an animal. I just think that's so incredible. And even if there's separate fundraising or grants we could apply for, where then maybe we could step in and help with the transport, payments, or how much that costs. I just love that so much that I want to move the needle in that way. And I just think it's so cool to send money with an animal. What a disrupting game changer type of a thing.
Well, I think it's important that the animal continues to get the care, and honestly, like, I remember what it was like whenever we first started our rescue, and we were really small and we didn't have the reach that we did and the abilities to raise money that we do now. And like, there's rescues that want to help, they just don't have the means to raise that kind of money to go with the animal. So to have the support behind it, where you trust them and they can also grow and do what their passion is and where their heart's at, is such a good thing, and it only helps more horses to do it that way.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also why I would love to get some sort of like content happening around what we're doing with this auction, because I think also, along with just getting more people aware of it and getting more eyeballs on it, all those rescues that participate in something like this will also benefit from that platform. That's partly why, for me, whoever I work with or team up with, it's very important to me to share my platform and to repost them. And I tell them, we love transparency. So I want to follow these animals. I want you to videotape more than you've ever videotaped. And I want you to do lives if you've never done a live, because I think it's so important for people to see where everyone goes. And because in my mind, I know where everyone is. And I really push that with every single rescue that I work with, because I want this to become the norm. I want it to become where we are so transparent, and we can track any animal, and we know where they went. We know where they got adopted, if that person, wants to be able to participate in that way. But I just think it's so important right now in this game with these rescues and these wild horses, is just to be able to follow where everyone is. And we can do that. We have the technology now. We just have to have the will and the desire.
Well, it's having a team in place that, like, we have two people that follow up on rescues. So they go through about every 6 months and make phone calls and reach out, get updates. So we track it and we know that everyone's okay. Yeah. And I think that's really, really important as well, because sometimes rescues get in a bad financial spot, and it's not to their fault. Like, they might have a huge vet bill come up that they weren't counting on, and that took some money out that they were hoping would go towards feed, and it's genuinely not their fault. Like, stuff happens with animals. Like, I follow a huge dog rescue, and they just had like one of their dogs. Thank God the fosters caught it, and it was an extra $8,000 expense that they weren't counting on. Granted, this rescue definitely has money sitting there to be able to pay that bill, but you can't take that cushion away, because like, their Facebook page just got deleted. They lost their whole platform.
Wow.
And I can't even imagine like the feeling in their stomachs of losing a massive platform like that. And so they have to continue to fundraise, asking for money. It's not that they can't take care of the animals, it's that their money goes out so as fast as it freaking comes in.
Yeah, it's a revolving door, that one.
But
it is.
I think though that there's got to be a way like to have pots where like so Claudio's our hauler and he was back there and he just helps anyone and we'll help just use him, use the trailer, take advantage of it, go. But
Right.
like that's got to be a thing though, where like if we're back there and a rescue bails a horse, like there's a pot we can pull from to transport utilizing, what we have set up to get the horse to them for free. So that's not an expense to them.
Right. That's what I would love to figure that out. I'd love to figure that out. I'd love that. Yeah.
To have that to help rescues, like there's rescues that like have the land, they just don't have a truck and trailer. It's like, oh, perfect, we'll deliver to you. Like let us get it on the schedule, or like you have an emergency vet bill that comes up that you weren't expecting. Well, great, like I'll use Dice Roll Monday. Maybe you have another really cool thing that you like to do to help other rescues to raise money for situations like that. Because at the end of the day, like everyone needs to know that if they're in a spot, there's a collective community that has their back, because we all have to work together to make this, it's called the flywheel effect. We all have to work together to keep the flywheel moving.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to stay how it's always stayed, which is exactly how it was when I was little, reading books and on AOL.
Yeah.
And horses were shipped to slaughter and there were still horse rescues and it was the same old, same old. Like at what point
does
it
need to change?
It changes when people make bold decisions and they work together,
come
up with new creative ideas that no one's maybe they did try before, but there wasn't the platform because of social media to actually make it come to fruition in the way that it needs to.
Yeah. I mean, that's mainly what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on how to organize this network. And I think just, it just wants to be had, to be honest. I had this company reach out to me and he's a tech guy that has developed a website. It's working overseas right now. It's not here in the United States yet, but he's come to me, he's approached me and he's like, Dawn, what we do is we have these horse experiences all over the world, right? And we have everything from vet care to farriers to transport. It's all organized on this algorithm. We want to come to the United States, but we see what you're doing and we love what you're doing. And we want to see if you can help us design an algorithm for rescues. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I am now working with these tech guys and I'm telling them, okay, this is what we need. And I'm actually I was going to come to you too, Talia, to kind of help me sort of like create this database, because I think we could use this algorithm and have an app for ourselves or a site that we can run this off of, because then we can be way more organized. We can get all the vetted rescues entered into one place. We can even use microchips to our advantage, where we can have our own readers and we can be logging all of the animals and they get put into this database so that no matter where they go, they are always sort of like, exactly. And then all the rescues can have their microchip readers and we can just be moving animals this way and putting them and placing them. And then whoever adopts these animals, you've got your number and you can then get discounts through this site for farriers, for training, for vet care, you name it. That this is my feeling. Like, I feel like we can do this. And when we get a big interception and we've got 50, like we just did last month, 50 reservation babies, we go to this site and we put the announcement out and all the rescues are notified, and then they go, we can take 2, we can take 3, and then all within that network we have transports already part of this whole algorithm, and they're just notified like Ubers. And they're like, okay, like who wants to take this? Do you know what I mean? But then it puts it together. We don't have to figure out, is someone going to Montana? Is there one going to California? We got 2 going at 5 o'clock Thursday. I'm like, come on, really? I mean, everything I have are just like written all over pieces of paper. It's ridiculous. This is like 1990s. I don't know what all of this is. I'm like losing papers. I'm like, where's a pen? Like, I can't. Nothing is computerized. Nothing is made easy in this world. And it's just like, it just tells you that there is a gap in the market and it is ready to be upgraded. And I'm talking to this company and we'll loop you in, and trust me guys, every rescue that's listening to this, you will all be given a chance to be on this at 501c3, whatever you are, and you can be a part of it. Transports, vets, trainers, it's all of it. Airbnb for horse vacations, whatever you want to do. So this is another aspect of what I've got percolating in my mind, because I'm just like, this needs an upgrade. This is ridiculous. I've only been here for 4 months in this little world, but I'm like, all y'all need to stop fighting. Everybody needs to stop picking on everybody. And we just need to work together, okay? And here's an app, and we're going to all help each other.
Well, so it's funny. So I had the same exact idea. Like I literally sketched it out like 4 years ago. Because to me, like in addition to what you're saying, it's something where like, let's say that I get contacted for 2 owner surrenders and I don't have necessarily like, I feel like a sanctuary is set up better to take in like horses that are non-rideable that just need to live their lives out.
Yeah.
But it's on another thing too, where on that app you can post, hey, I just got a text or an email about 2 owner surrenders.
Yes.
They're non-rideable. They're in their early 20s or whatever age they are. Is there anyone that has the space to bring them in? I'll get the funding part of it handled. And then that way we can fundraise, take the owner surrenders in, and then use and transport, because they see that it pings into the system.
Yes.
Everyone gets a notification. Hey, we can help. We've got the room.
Yep.
And then the more everyone just works together, the more everything can get accomplished. So when the SAFE Act passes, there's a beautiful system set up in place for these horses to go.
Yep.
They don't have anywhere to go at that point.
Yep. That's what we're doing. That's what I want to do.
Which
That's
would be
what I want.
Badass.
Yeah, it's gonna be badass. I know. We're gonna do it, girl. We're doing it. For now, trenches. We got mud up to our knees, but it won't always be like that. I can see it. I have a vision. I have a vision. I have a dream.
It's so true. But I know I'm grateful that I met you, because now I feel like I have like, it's like Mariah.
You're not alone anymore.
Yeah, but like you have people that like get in there and they actually have a kind heart and they want change and they're not drama and they are honest and they ask questions. They don't just assume things because they want to understand.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that very much, because when I started, which is like why I love being so transparent with like you or like anyone that wants to educate, like be educated on the industry, there was no one to educate me. There was no one there. Like I literally learned things because people would get mad at me. Like other rescues would say stuff to me like, why aren't you doing it like this? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know any other way to do it. Well, if that's wrong,
that's how I feel.
Like, let me go see why that's wrong and why you're saying that. And then let me find a better way to move forward.
Yeah.
And so through those better ways of moving forward, I've just slowly like, you know, you figure it out and you make better decisions and you ask questions about the industry so that you can try to like move your chess piece in another way to make it so that you come out better. But there's no like,
it is.
I'm happy. That's why I'm happy like when you ask me questions and like other people do, because they're not going to learn. Like, God forbid you go on the internet, you're going to get eaten alive.
Oh, ruthless.
Ruthless.
Why do you think that is in this industry? So I don't, not that I have like entered into many different scopes, but this vortex is like, there's an intensity here that I have never, it's like, oh boy, everybody real mad over here. Why is everybody so mad?
Because people don't, I mean, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, people are not comfortable with change, and they're not comfortable with everyone has, I don't know how to say this because I don't want to upset anyone and I don't know how to word things sometimes, but like, I feel the jealousy too. I get it. So like, I'm a human being, and if I see, I'm going to use Mariah as an example because she's one of my dear friends. Mariah made a beautiful reel went on Monday morning when we were at the auction. And I'm a human, and she's so talented and comes up with the most creative reels that always go viral. And I get surges of jealousy where I'm like, fuck, she's so good. You know what I mean?
She made that. Yeah.
Yes. But instead of like taking that jealous feeling and harboring it into a negative, I literally went up to her and I was like, how did you come up with that? That was brilliant. I need to come up with something similar, because you literally hit the nail on the head on how do we choose a horse, is that horse is like following her out. And so it's all on how you take the energy. Like we all get jealous. We all have egos. We all like, you know, wish we could be bigger and greater and do more things, but it's how we harness that feeling. We either take it and we use it in a negative way, or we take it and we want to become better and get better at what we're doing and grow. Yeah. And I think a lot of people just don't take that energy the right way. Like I'm someone, like I feel like you are, Or like when I get, even in school, you know, like if I didn't get the best grade in the class and someone beat me, it made me try even harder the next time.
Sure.
If, you know, someone gets a property and they're given 40 acres, I'm like, all right, what are they going to do with it? Because it's not, you know what I mean? Because I want to see how they're going to build it.
Yeah.
Because I want to learn from what they're doing in case I can do something better. So instead of getting jealous and being like, oh, how the fuck did they get 40 acres? Like, screw them. They must be doing something wrong. I'm like, so how did you get it? What are you building? How are you building that?
That's exactly me. So like, you got it? That means I can get it.
Yeah. How did you get it?
40, that means I can get 80. So I'm
yeah. But it's like, you don't know. Like, literally, what if you ask them, so how did you get that? I don't understand. Like, you're a tiny rescue. And they're like, oh, well, my grandpa owned this land and he wanted to do something good with it for the tax write-off, so he gave it to me. That's a learning experience where it's like, hey, maybe I know someone that has some land that might want a tax write-off also, and go find that person. Like, not get, you know, don't be like, just use the energy the right way, not the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like I like when people reach out and they're like, hey, like, have you ever thought about doing it this way? And I'm like, no, but explain to me your logic. You know what I mean? Like, explain why you're saying that, because I want to understand. And then, like, even if that way doesn't work necessarily for me, I still gained something from it that can make my way of doing it better.
Sure.
It's always about just getting better, because the better we all get, the better the animals are taken care of, and the better we can all do this whole rescue shit.
Rescue shit. That's what it is. Why are we doing this? It's so intense. Oh my gosh, how did I get here? I don't even know what happened. It's like I went to sleep, I woke up, and I'm just like, everything's intense and crazy, and we gotta move. It's nonstop. It's nonstop. I'm sleeping on the side of the road. Like, what has my life become? I don't even know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy. Like,
so Dawn, get some wine. Guys, I'm driving. That's not a good advice right now. No, I need some water is what I need some. Yeah, here we go. Drink water into wine.
I gave up on water an hour ago.
Oh, you just gave up on it? Oh, okay. Yeah. How's that going for you? It's pretty dehydrated, but fine. But fuck it. Oh, no, you don't need it? You don't even need any water? Nobody needs water.
I will.
Makes the wine work faster, doesn't it?
I got my big cup of water.
Oh my gosh. Should we maybe ask questions right now? Should we do some Q&A stuff, or what do you want to do? How do you want to
maybe see if anyone has any. Go ahead.
Do you feel like we've talked about the auction enough? I mean, like, I don't really know what we're doing. Are we just going to wing it? We're just winging it. Is that what we're doing? Or are we going to, like, I mean,
on here?
How do we start this?
I would say that I think it's important that people can ask questions like about the auction weekend, you know, because some people might say like, hey, what's the update on this horse? Or like, what are the plans with all the direct ship horses that you pulled? You know what I mean? Like, they're valid questions that I usually like to try to do a live after the auctions, just because people do have questions or they don't understand the industry. And like, I can see a bunch of people are asking why they microchip the horses, and that's so that when they get to the border, they scan it and it matches the paperwork that the USDA has. So there's always, I feel like there's always really good questions that come through, that genuine questions that people have. Like, again, someone just asked about the microchipping, but I already answered that. So
did all the donkeys get saved? No, it's an active fundraiser right now. We're probably, I think we have, gosh, I just talked to her before I got on here. There's 50 total. I wish I should have looked before I came on here, but I think we've got 20 that are vouched for, that are paid for. We haven't gone and actually paid for them yet, but the money that we have raised so far can cover 20. So we've still got a good number to go, but we've got 4 days. David's given us 4 more days. So we're just going to keep going hard. I've talked to a few donkey rescues, even earlier today, Oscar's place. He's offered a home for 10.
He did?
Yes,
Ron
he did. I had a conversation with him. Yes, he did. Ron,
Holy
I talked
shit.
to him today.
That's amazing.
I know, and everyone's like, he never does that. So
he never does that.
Wow. Yep. So I told him I need to get back with him with some information. So I haven't gotten back with him yet because I've been driving and now I'm doing this. So Ron, if you're watching, then I haven't more information. I just haven't had a chance to text you. But yeah, he pledged a home for 10. So that's wonderful. And we're going to try some different, we've been doing some raffles and some different things. You know, Jessica's really creative with the way she gets, you know, people to incentivize people to donate. And I feel like also maybe we need to just open it up to call Bowie and post individual pictures. So if anybody wants to make the donation for that individual donkey, we can just start racking them up that way and get them paid for, and you know exactly where that money's going. It pays for that donkey, and we're getting discounts on them, so they're not the price that they are on the website, which is why we're saying call and pick one out on the website and say it's going to Roar Sanctuary for their fundraiser for the donkey group that we're not going to stop of them. That's what we want. That's our goal. Obviously, we have 4 days, so that's the update on those guys. And I have so many videos to post. I just have been driving of the donkey with the bad feet. She got her feet done today. She got laid down. She had X-rays done. She did have laminitis, but they've trimmed. They had the saw out. It's a whole thing. Cameron was like, "How do you film when you're doing all these things?" She's like, "I don't think I did a good job because I wasn't there. I was picking up a trailer." And so she's trying to film and be a veterinarian, and it was funny. But I have a nice video to cut at the end of the day today to post that on her. So that's cool. Bootsy, that's her name.
That's her name.
Yes, her name's Bootsy. So, but she's warm in a stall, so it's cute. It's a cute name for her. Yeah. And you know what's so beautiful after the whole thing? You know, I'm always so scared Cameron's going to be like, you're bringing too many horses to my facility. Like literally, I have so many animals there getting this, getting that, getting fixed, all, you know, with catheters. I mean, it's just crazy what I've turned her facility into. It's like Dawn's rescue facility. But she sent me a text today that made me cry. And she's just like, Dawn, I just want to tell you, I just want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to do what we're doing to help these animals, because it's reminding us why we became vets and why we wanted to do this. And I just wanted to thank you for letting us be a part of this adventure with you. And it's just going to get bigger, and there's going to be much change that's going to come from what you guys are doing, that we are so honored to help you and to help all these animals that you keep bringing our way. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go get some more done. But you know, she's amazing. I can't even. Like, Cameron, go take a nap. You're tired. you're not even. You're talking crazy now. But no, she's such a sweetheart. I love her so much. It's I don't deserve her helping me right now at all in the way that she is. She's literally on an hourly rotation with other vets. She's staying up all through the night, 24 hours with those right now in technically ICU with these babies, just because she's like, we are not losing another one.
No.
She's on beast mode is what she's on right now. Yeah, she's not giving up on these guys.
Did they they have pedigree behind them, the Arabians?
They used to be worth millions of dollars, but this guy, because Christoph has been hiding them for the last 25 years, he let all those pedigrees stop. He dropped. I don't know the world. I'm not a pedigree person, but he let them drop out, or he didn't renew them. I don't know if that's what you do as they have babies. You're not re-registering them potentially.
Right.
And because people kept finding him through these registries, and so he let them all fall away. And even my vet in Mina did some, because he had the herd of 75 in Mina at one time, and so my local country vet there would go and do blood work and everything on these horses. And he said, he told me, even last week, he told me, Dawn, he let one stallion that was worth $1.5 million die of starvation, which is like,
well, I'm asking, I was asking because a person actually I saw a comment. Oh, Joy, yeah. So there's a lady, just in case you want the contact, she literally specializes in Arabian horses. She has a massive rescue.
Yeah.
But she's like the person, like if you wanted to pull blood, she can find out the pedigrees, and like she can find out who their families were, and like in that whole segment of
Veruscas. They're Veruscas. They literally haven't been. They're probably inbred to all heck, but that is the line. They've never introduced other lines. It's only that line, and so they're very clear on who these Arabians are. Mm-hmm. So I don't, and someone also said there's a few girls that have been working on this case for a long time, and they've amassed so much information, photos, court cases, records, there's just so much on this guy and this herd. And the Arabian Association, I think at one time they had the year, I can't remember it right now, went and took blood from all of them and deemed that they are not registrable, that they are all grade at this point now. So I don't know if there's anything to go, if there's anywhere to go
Yeah.
from there, but I honestly think it's better for these horses, truthfully, because I mean, I'm finding very quickly the Arabian world has a lot of, it's its own vortex, and the energy and just the world that has come about just from me taking in these Arabians is something I have not seen. I mean, granted, I've only been doing this for 4 months. It's not like I'm like this well-versed rescue or something, but it definitely has its own energy to it. And I think that it's better that these babies are grayed. I think that if they came with pedigrees and there was money associated with them, I think the wrong people would be for, even so, even now. I mean, you know, I can't name names, but the original rescue that I had to go through to go and pick these up, they were trying to get me to sign this agreement for what was it called, a foster agreement. And she was giving me this option: you can sign a foster agreement or you can keep them.
Yeah.
You know, but either way, you can sign this foster agreement, and so you'll take them in, and they'll be mine. They'll belong to me, or you can keep them. You know, these were her options. And I was like, at the time, I was like, let me just go get the babies, because you just told me that they're dying every day. Like, there's babies dying all over the, let me just go get the babies. I'll do whatever you want to do. We'll talk about it. So when I went and got the babies and I picked them up, and it was just 24 hours of hell from the moment I picked those babies up, because they were literally teetering on the edge of death. You know, and then I have suddenly this world and this rescue that's like, you were deceitful, you didn't sign the papers. And I was like, hold on a second. My main focus was these animals, and the second I lifted my head up, now I have all these enemies. I'm
Right.
like, for what?
You
I
just
don't know
tried
what
to help.
I did. Yeah, and when I sat with it for a minute, I was like, it doesn't feel right that you want to claim ownership of these animals before they've even decided if they can live or not. You know, I feel like something's very wrong about that, and I just
Yeah.
need to sit with that a little bit longer, because truthfully, at Moon Mountain, we don't foster. We rescue and we adopt into homes, forever homes. And that's our contracts. Those are our adoption applications. They all say the same thing across the board with all of us. We even copied yours, essentially. I mean, we used yours as a template. And so I have yet to sign that foster agreement, because I'm like, you know, I feel like there's something else going
Yeah.
on here, that there's like a bloodline rush or something. And I have that sense. And even now I got goosebumps even saying that, because I feel like that bloodline rush is real and it's palpable. And I just wanted to create a safety dome around these babies until everybody sort of backs up and gives a little space, and just try to get them to survive. I mean, that was my first
Just
order of
live.
business, and that's what I'm
Like,
doing.
get them
Just
next
live.
day.
Nobody put their finger. Don't claim anybody. Don't be like, I want that one. It was very grabby. It was very, you know, there was a lot of that energy to it, and I'm very conscious of that kind of energy. So I just sort of like, I just quieted the whole thing, and I'm like, nobody say anything. I'm not signing anything. I'm not releasing ownership to anyone. I'm just going to try to save them. That's all I got. That's really all I could do right now. That's all I can do right now. So, you know, this Arabian world is very interesting. But like I said, I'm sort of glad, and I hope that they're not registrable. I hope they don't come with pedigrees. I hope that that's not possible for them anymore, because what I would love to see is them just go to real homes with real people that are just going to do good by them, and not try to breed them or not try to make that like a thing, you know. And that's truly how I feel.
Right.
So that's
Those poor babies.
the Arabian story. Yeah. Anyways.
That's like, even at the
Yeah.
auction, sometimes like people will see horses that we pull, and I get emails like, hey, I want that horse. And I'm like, that's not how, well, at least for me, I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, you can't claim something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We take them and fully vet them and assess them before you're ever even going to see them. And then you don't need to be window shopping. Like, to me, that's what half the problem is, are people window shopping, seeing pretty horses or cute horses, or a lot of it is just really pretty horses.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you get them, and then it's all failure, because the horse isn't what that person needs through capability or physical or emotional, mental. And then the horse just ends up right back in the cycle because they wanted a pretty horse.
Yeah.
So
You
everyone's
can
like,
feel that.
yeah. I hate that when people come to our barn and they want to walk around and go, what's this one? Is this one available? I'm like, no, now. Not available now. You can start window shopping when you just.
You're pulling for the wrong reasons right now. You're pulling for the wrong reasons. Yeah.
That's my, you're not adopting from the barn card.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I started at the very beginning. I tried where if you're going to pick a pretty horse, you have to take a plain horse too as like partner. And that kind of deads it a little bit because they're like, oh, but I don't want to have, oh, I'm like, oh, okay, that's okay. It's a rule though.
Joy, I agree with
So,
what you just said. Joy was just saying, like, people like papers. So, like, if everyone thought all of the horses like you had were papered, or all the horses that we rescued were, then everybody would want them because they're papered. It's like pedigrees mean something when, for me, all that should mean something is this horse the right horse for you and your family and what you're looking for? So the connection.
We should make rescue pedigrees. Why don't we just give everybody a pedigree?
God, I know.
Make our own database. Seriously, right? What?
Poor guy.
Yes, this horse is pedigreed.
He's pedigreed in the pedigree database of rescue.
That's what I'm saying. We should do that. We could do it with the microchips. They could be traceable. This is genius. I love this so much. Yeah, I love it. Done. Let's do that. I love it so much.
The pedigree
horse. That's such a good idea. Oh my gosh, here we go. Let's read some more.
Oh, there's some real fuckers in here today.
Oh boy, Talia's gonna get them.
No, I'm not. I just fucking hate people sometimes. Jackie, go mind your own business. They're telling you to stay away from me. I can't.
Who? Me stay away from you? Is that what it is? Oh, that's too bad because we're already in it. We're already doing it. She's nice. And I've been there, guys. I swear, I'm a good read. I'm a good judge of character, and Talia's doing it for real. So sometimes I really believe when we see sort of deceit, or we think that we see that, it's a projection of whatever that thing is inside of us, right? Because I'm walking around this world and I just see a lot of good happening, and I don't, that's not, maybe I'm naive, or maybe I'm looking through some goggles of some sort, but I'm pretty good. I think I'm a pretty good judge of energy and of character. And if I went out to that kill pen floor and I saw Talia bullshitting me, I don't really want to be around that. That's not my MO, and that's not my style. I just don't even like to walk through life like that, around people like that at all. I'd rather walk by myself. So even just the fact that I'm doing this with her and I'm on this with her, and I think that there's something here, and I think what she's got going, she wouldn't be able to do this for so long if she was doing the things that you are saying that she's doing. I don't see that. I don't feel that in person. But I also invite you to come to Bowie and be out there with us, and you can decide for yourself. Use your own internal discernment, right? We love horses so much because they are so sensitive to those frequencies, to that energy. And I believe that if you are a lover of horses, you have some of that sensitivity too. Maybe you've been through trauma. Maybe you've been forced to be hypersensitive at a very young age, which draws you to a horse sometimes. I have an ex like that, and that's why he's such a good trainer. But I invite you to feel that energy yourself. You may need to redirect that trauma that you have coming out of you and that you're projecting onto things and people, because I promise you, when you come in person, just like when you visit and you spend time in that environment and around a person like that, you may have a different experience because it's visceral and you'll feel something different.
I didn't realize there's like a question thing over here, and I didn't know that was a thing.
What's the thing?
So look down on your bottom screen. There'll be a chat thing with a question mark in it. Do you see that?
I don't have that. I have a live fundraiser for vet bills at the bottom. Is that something you have?
Oh, no. Probably maybe because I started the live. But there's like a ton of questions that people have asked. I didn't even know that was a thing, that this was a thing. So
maybe only you can see that because you're the moderator. I think I don't have a question mark or a box. I don't have any of that. So
I would make
you have to
moderator if I knew how, but
well, maybe you can't because you're the one that initiated it. We're just gonna decide that that's how it goes. Well, go read questions.
Okay, so here we are. Let's answer some questions. Well, this one's just that anyone that works at an auction, does anyone that works at the auction show any compassion for the hurt animals? Yes, I would say, I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
Oh, no. No. Well,
I don't think, I mean, they go and they give like Banamine and stuff, but they have to do that. I don't know if they're doing it because they care or they have to, is the thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think
I see some like
care. I don't think they do.
You definitely see them doing their job, but there's some gentleness going on. I can catch it. I catch it.
For some of them, for sure. Like girls that check people in, like they'll call me as soon as they see something that's hurt or sick or needs help or rescued, and they'll give me the heads up that it's coming through.
Yeah.
Like, because they care. Like, it makes, like, there's a couple donkeys that were family, and they, like, literally were blowing my phone up, and they're like, these donkeys just came in. This lady was crying, telling us their story. Like, you have to go find these tag numbers. Like, can't be separated. Please don't let them get separated. Mm-hmm. So, like, that shows me that, you know, the girls checking in, like, that they care. Like, they
didn't have to do that.
I'm not saying everybody does, but, like, I know that there are people that, like, genuinely have a heart and an empathy, and, like, they do care about the animals and what happens to them. Yeah. Let's see. The auction. Oh, someone said, how do you pronounce? It's Hoper, by the way. So Hoper. It's my grandpa's last name.
I found the questions. Someone told me how to do it. Okay, I see it now, guys.
Oh, good. You see it?
Yeah, someone told me how to do it. Yep. Okay, got it. Okay. Go for it.
Someone wants to know if we got the black and white stud and his girlfriend, and we did.
Oh, so beautiful! Wow. He looked like he was straight out of the wild in Montana or something. He was majestic.
God. How are the stud and his pregnant mare? I just answered that. Fuck, man. Sometimes the haters, I just want to like bring their.
Oh, there's some good ones in there?
It's so easy to tell who they fucking are. It just pisses me off.
Oh, man.
Thank you to those of you that are being kind.
Okay, guys, life is short. Like, we got to support each other.
Jack,
we can't keep breaking ourselves down.
Jack is doing amazing. He has his x-rays on Friday for those asking about the paint. Jack. So you'll get an update in our stories on him on Friday. If you're on Patreon, you'll know about Harvey B tomorrow for mine. Can you see questions? Like,
I can also do this. I was just not going to do it because you were doing it, but I can also read as you're reading. Let's see. How do you get the names of the horses when you name them so quickly at the auction? How do you do that?
I literally ask them what their name is.
Yeah, I get
That's what I do. I literally stand in front of them, and I'm like, you got to tell me your name. And some of them are like, no, like, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, you're giving me, like, it actually happened with Hillary and I, and she came up to me with Harrison, the halflinger that had been trampled on the trailer, and she was like, what are we gonna name him? I'm like, hang on a second. And I was like, because I got to get an image up in my head. And I said, I'm getting an H. And she goes, oh my God, I'm getting an H too. And I was like, okay, so we're on the page. And then that's how we picked Harrison. And I don't know. Everyone has their own ways of doing it. And everyone can be weirdos. And I'm a weirdo, whatever.
Yeah.
But I literally ask them what their name is. Like, who are you? Like, what is your, like, what do you want your name to be? What is it? And sometimes it's like blank. Like, I literally get nothing. It's like blank. Sometimes they'll just be like, I'll get like S energy or like B energy or H energy. And then I just like sometimes there's been like a couple where I stand in front of them, like, it's F. Like with Faye from this auction, I stood there and I was like, Faye's? You want your name to be Faye's? And I was like staring at her, and she's like looking at me, and I'm like, that's not your name. There's no way that's your name. And then I'm like, you know, and I start trying to say things that sound like what is in my head. Yeah. And then I said Faye, and she kind of looked at me, and I was like, that's a beautiful name. Is that what you want to be? She just stared at me and went, okay, Faye it is. And I was like, Faye it is. Yeah. Like, that's how it happens to me. Like,
that's it.
It just pops in my head, and I'm like, but some of them don't give me their names for a long time, or like some of them, the name they kind of give you at the auction, or at least for me, it's like it'll change, and by the time they get to California, like, they've now got nicknames tied to them, you know, because their personalities are coming out and their characters and who they are, and their energies change.
Mm-hmm.
It's like why my dogs have like, I literally had a dog. Her name was Lucky Bingo Fiesta Salsa Master Jedi. And it was because she really like, her name was Lucky, but like she had all these different personalities that I would call her out on other names, or like, you know, Moose is Xena Moose, or like Possum is my baby girl, my possum. Like everybody does it with their animals. They all get lots of names.
For sure.
Hell, even when you're in a relationship with someone, you're like, honey, peanut, muffin. Like,
yeah, it's so true. That's funny.
all happens. That's it. That's all I have.
Yep, I love it. It's similar for me, for sure. Sometimes it'll also, my names, I'll be like, I'll have this idea, and I can tell when I try to put my own version of a name on them and I wasn't receptive or wasn't getting anything, so I try to name them, and then it just never fits, right? It's like you can't even say it. It doesn't even want to come out of your mouth. It's like, this is wrong. This isn't your name. And then someone may even walk by and say a sentence, and there's one word that highlights itself and it becomes the name. It's like it stands out, it like jumps out at you and you're like, oh, that's the name. That's your name. It came through a different way, right? It just tries to get to you somehow. But I've named the animals' names have come that way too.
Oh yeah, they travel. So how far do they travel for slaughter? So once they go across the border, I've been told that it's up to 20 hours, and they're not in like here in the United States, by law, if you're transporting livestock, they have to have like air holes, right? So like when they get to Mexico, they will literally load them onto semi trucks. They don't have air holes. It's like the big ones, you know, like the Amazon semis and the Walmart semis with like the closed sides. So that's like they pick them up and then they load and like go to another drop point to go, and it's like, you know, 8 hours from Bowie down to the border, and then another up to 20 hours to the plant in Mexico that these horses are having to be subjected to all of this.
Ugh, it's awful.
You know what's crazy is when I hear people say that they don't believe that that's what happens to horses that do end up in those hands, and they'll say like, no, like my mom, like they don't believe it exists.
Yeah.
Like, they don't think it actually happens.
Yeah.
And you're like, it does. Like,
well, that's why we have to go there, Talia, because we have to make it impossible for people to just be like, no, it's not real. It's just a game. They're just trying to trick you to get your money. It's like, this is just all like a fluffy fundraising scam, you know? No, it's fucking not. And I'll tell you, I thought it was too in the beginning, but come and be on the floor. Listen to the way people speak. Listen to how, I mean, even the guy who runs the auction house, he knows exactly that, how many hours it takes, where those horses are, when they leave, where they probably are, and how long it's going to take them to get to Mexico. They're going straight there. This isn't bullshitting, right? We're not like, oh no, they're just going to go move to another auction and they're just going to try to sell them over there. No, they leave from here and they go straight for death, and that is it. It is the end of the road. We are literally on a front line. Talia and I and everyone else who comes to that auction house. There are others, but this is a legit front line. It is here. It's, if we don't intercept it, they are gone.
they're dead.
That's it. That's it. So you can decide if you want to believe that or not believe that, but I guarantee you, I've been there in person now because I wanted to know for myself if that's real or not, and I got everything that I needed to know. And now you see, I'm full on because I can't turn away now. Once you learn this, it's like, what do you do now?
Well, and if you're an animal person, when you walk out in the direct ship field and one walks up to you, how do you leave that horse behind? You know what I mean? You don't. Like, they're not like,
because you know, oh, it's real. You know where they're about to go. It's why you wrap your dog leash around that mama before you try to
like,
leave.
you're coming out.
Because what you know, the other option. You know what her fate is if you drive that truck away. You have to make a decision in that moment. I am down to let you die because I'm going to go get some coffee.
Well, I don't want to, honestly, I don't want to regret anything. And if I how the paint draft cross, like it's gonna fucking haunt me forever.
I'm sick. It's gonna haunt me too because I walked by him or her. I don't know. I walked by him when I was moving those direct ships, and now I feel like it's kind of my fault because I moved all those direct shipped and then moved their placement onto a truck even faster. And I wasn't thinking about her or that group because I was like, I was on this other group.
Right.
You know, it sucked because if there was one rescue there that was being more conscious of what they, because focusing on what we're doing. If they had another thing that they were doing, maybe they would have seen that one and been like, wait, that's not right. We need more people there. We need more people organizing their groups so that we don't have to go so hard. I mean, between Talia and I and who else pulled from direct ship?
Mariah did.
Mariah pulled, yeah, because she pulled that beautiful black
And
boy.
I'm grateful because Katie, the mule that was in there with that group that went, there was an old mule in there, and I'm thankful to Katie because she's a trusted rescue that I trust, and she gives amazing, like she's just amazing. Yeah. And so as soon as I saw him, I knew I couldn't take him in, but I sent her the picture, and I was like, direct ship, like this mule's gonna ship to Mexico, and she immediately was like, okay, I'm on it, and she started a fundraiser. She called the office. I got his tag. I told David in the office, I was like, do not ship that mule. Like, if that time comes, a rescue's taking it. And I'm glad I did, because had I not communicated that mule, knowing that she could possibly help, and she's amazing with what she does, he would not have had a chance. Like, now he's going to get an amazing life. And she, like, at her rescue's badass. Like, she just bought this whole facility down by San Diego, and like, he gets to go live his best life now. And that's an amazing thing to be able, like, even if people can't go to the auction, but to reach out, and who are vetted and good rescues and all the things that everyone comments clearly, to have that in your back pocket, like you reached out to Ron from Oscar's place, that just saved 10 donkeys. That's huge. Huge.
Yeah, and if we had a whole group of people that we could do this together, I think that we could be doing a lot more of this and do it seamlessly, and not so, it wouldn't have to be so anxiety riddled, like, what are we going to do? No, we know we have a procedure, we have an order, and we just get it done, and that's it.
Like
and then it becomes
spreadsheet of like, 10 rescues that all pledge, every month we can take one, as long as like the funding's attached. Then it makes it where you're immediately walking in, you're like, I already know that I've got 20 rescues that can take 20 animals. Now I can fundraise now 20.
Yeah, that's it. Please, just God, let it be that soon. I'm never going to get another boyfriend if this is my life forever.
No, I can speak from experience. You're fucked.
Oh, no, I'm changing it. Talia, I'm changing the game. I cannot be like single horse rescue lady for my whole life. I don't want that. I love having boyfriends.
I do too.
I don't want a partner.
And it's never gonna be. But I mean, it will be for you. It's just not for me. I have too many dogs. And
I have a lot of dogs. I have so many dogs. No, guys are just gonna have to be okay with all the dogs. He just has to have a lot of land, because I come with a lot of baggage.
Right.
Baggage in the form of horses and dogs and animals and goats and everything. It's fine. He loves you for who you are. It'll be okay.
Right. And they gotta like overalls.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Snowboarding. All the kinds.
Yeah, but we're gonna like design really cool ones, so it won't even be like, he'll be like, wow, those are overalls. I never really liked them before. You guys made them. Like, yeah, that's right.
Now suddenly people are gonna want to wear overalls.
That's right. It's gonna be the new jam. That's the new look. Rescue chic.
All the time.
Muddy boots all day long.
Oh, if your boots aren't muddy, who are you?
Shit boot. No, it's not mud, Talia. This is just straight shit. There's like a layer of shit all the way over my shoes, everywhere I go.
You know what's funny to that point? In the seldom chance that I do, and when I do have a brand new pair of boots, when it does happen, you're probably the same. I stare at them because they're too clean, and I don't want to put them on because I'm like, no.
You'll ruin them in one day.
No, but I know, like, I would rather wear a dirty boot than a clean boot. So, like, I don't even want to put those shiny things on. Like, I need someone to go out and, like, trench those through the mud and the shit and the dirt. Yeah. Then I'll go put it on. Because if it's clean, I'm like,
girlfriend. Oh. Just go 1 day to work. You'll be fine. No one will ever even see it.
10 minutes of this last 1 minute of stepping in. I wore my slippers to Bowie this weekend on Saturday. Did you see that?
Were they like your short? They were like short shoes?
So
I don't even know.
My slippers.
You deserve whatever you got for that, because that's a crazy thing that you did.
Friday, my boots were so muddy because it rained there, and like the pins are this thick of mud.
And it get like inside the.
Yes, and I couldn't couldn't. So they were sitting outside in the garage, and I had my slippers on, and in my head I'm like, well, when I go to the garage, I'm just going to put my slippers off and put my boots on to get in the car. And I was in such a hurry to get there that I literally went to the sale barn in my slippers and had to go the whole day trollopsing through the shit pens in my slippers that are now ruined. And yeah, we lost Dawn. Oh no. It might just be her cell phone reception. She'll be back, but yeah, so my slippers are completely ruined. Let's see. Anyway, so I think Dawn will be back. She'll definitely be back. But it's already 7 o'clock, so I definitely need to go eat dinner. And it is just me talking to myself, yes. So thank you everyone for being on the live. I had fun with Dawn. I think she might come back. I don't think so, but I do need to go eat dinner. And Dawn's working on the donkeys. Go follow her and support her. And I am going to go work on my stomach. I have a picture I will post in our stories after this live of what my slippers look like. And I had to wear them all day. I didn't know what else I was going to do. And I literally was like, how the hell did I walk out of what am I supposed to do? My slippers are ruined. So I will go check my DMs for a couple of you said for me to go